What is going on, everybody? What is the best codex in Warhammer 40k 8th edition? Let's talk about it. The criteria for my opinion on this are being just very good in all aspects of the game and having a lot of variety. Now, the number one thing when picking your army, 100% go on looks alone. What army looks the best to you? Which army do you like the look of? And from then on, you'll be happy. You'll be happier playing them, winning or losing. You'll be happier building them. You'll be happier just all around. The whole experience will be better. So rule number one, the best army for you is the one that looks the best, period. Now, when it comes to 8th edition, I have quite a few of the codexes. I didn't grab them all. But there's two armies that I think stand out as very, very good. There are other ones that are also very, very good. And if you like the look of them, we might touch on them at the end. But my pick number one for best army in 8th edition Warhammer 40k, and this is all also post chapter approved and all FAQs and everything. But my number one pick, or first of two pick, is the Tyranids. Sorry about the glare. This book is really, really good. They have a lot of reasons you might want to play them. The main should be that they're giant bugs. But they have movement shenanigans. They have powerful psychic powers, spells. They have units that shoot well and units that do hand-to-hand combat. They have big things and swarm. They have, like, heavy hitter, big elite things, and then also a swarm aspect to them. And all of those combined make them very strong. They have good shooting and hive guard, exocrines, tyrannifexes, spore mines, biovores. And then they also have, like, really devastating hand-to-hand units like the Gene Stealer or some of the monsters. So that reason number one, Tyranids, or for my first pick, let's say. Another thing is their hive fleets overlap really well with the army. Now, I personally would never mix chapters or hive fleets or craft worlds or forge worlds in the same army. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. That's even allowed to. But if you wanted to make an argument for it, this is the book. So if you do that, like if you like playing competitive play and stuff, which I will play, but I still won't mix the chapter tactics or whatever. But this book has really good hive fleets that will benefit greatly the shooting, and then other ones that benefit the hand-to-hand. So both stratagems, spells, everything. It just overlaps really well. So if you had an aspect of like a gun line plus stuff that's going to go forward and fight, ideally if you're trying to min-max it, the stuff in the back would be the hive fleet that has like the reroll ones to hit or whatever, and the stuff moving forward, make it more durable or faster, however you want to do that. Like I said, I don't personally mix. This book benefits greatly from doing so. Now, post chapter approved, all their big monsters are going down in points. None of their cool other units are going up in points. There's like one HQ that went up, no big deal. So not only was this book been good for a long time, but all the units that you never saw getting played just got a lot cheaper. So that opens up even more possibilities on what this book can do. The other one, and these are just, but I own both of these armies. Personally, I have never played them. They're sitting up there in the closet. I haven't built and painted them yet. Right now, I've been working on Death Watch. I've played my Adeptus Mechanicus and Thousand Suns and Imperial Guard and a lot. But the other book is Craftworld Eldar. They are super tricky in the movement phase. They have like the best psychic powers. They have really good shooting. They have some really cool hand-to-hand units, like Howling Banshees, Striking Scorpions, the Wraith Guard with the Wraith Blades. Just Shining Spears on jet bikes, devastating hand-to-hand unit, very fast. Like I said, tricky in the movement phase. If you're playing Inari, I feel like the only reason you're doing that is min-maxing to try to win. Because to me, they're not even like a real thing. They're just like some extra silly rules. But I wasn't around when they came out, so I had no hype for them. I don't believe they exist. But this is about single book armies. And this book is very, very good. You have very good flyers. You have super awesome elite type units that aren't elite costed. They do one or two things very well. Like a fire dragon, breaking up a tank. Howling Banshees are really good at... You can't overwatch them. And with how fast they can be, they're really good for charging enemy tanks. And just, no overwatch, and now they got to retreat from you. They're also pretty good at hacking through small, light units. The main horde aspect would be like a Guardian blob of 20. You can deep strike 20-man Guardian blobs with 2 heavy weapon platforms. Super awesome. And on top of that, their craft worlds are very good. There is Baal Tan, which is rerolling 1s for all shuriken weapons. And depending on how you build your army, that could be like every single thing in your army, rerolling 1s to hit, including vehicles. The Ulthway, they were the ones I was doing when I was working on them. They're 6-up, feel no pain type save. The reason I might not do them is because I'm doing this Deathwatch army and I don't want to do another black armored army. So I might switch to Baal Tan. I'm not 100% sure on that. Altiok, you're totally a min-maxer trying to just copy the internet. I feel very strongly on that. Hopefully that rule gets adjusted, the stacking the -1s to hit. But currently you can do it, and for them it's very powerful. But to me that's like powerful to the point of not that fun. People will win games by like simply hiding from you or not shooting and just trying to sit on objectives with big blobs. I don't know. Not that interesting to me. They have a wizard plane. The Hemlock Wraithfighter is a flying plane, and it's a psyker. That's insane. Super awesome. The units that don't get a lot of play that I actually love. Let me see if I can get them without knocking anything over. I'm not sure I love these heavy weapon platforms, but they, like not the Fire Prism, but what the heck is the other one called? Death Spinner? Sorry, I should have looked that up. But the Night Spinner and these heavy weapon platforms, they have no line of sight guns. Super powerful in this game. The Exarch on the Dark Reapers has a no line of sight gun. Super powerful. And then with all their movement shenanigans and spells, it's a very, very good book. You don't need allies. You don't need Harlequins or Dark Eldar. Of course, you could take them if that's how you like to play. And I just touched on it with them, but also with the Tyranids and the Eldar. Having those options of no line of sight weapons, like with the Hive Guard or the Biovores, and with the Night Spinners and heavy weapon platforms, it's just like a powerful extra tool. Because if you really think about a lot of games you play, and think about times you had, a decent amount of terrain on the table. If you don't play with a lot of terrain, then there's probably not much need for the no line of sight weapons. But there's a lot of times, especially in like an ITC type game or an objective holding mission, not just killing your buddies, there's stuff hiding on objectives that it's just hard to get to. And if you're like an AdMech army and you gotta fight through everything they put forward to get back there to that, it's like impossible by the time the game's over unless you really flatten everything in your path. So having the extra no line of sight guns to fire back at those units while you're in conflict with the middle of the board, I think that's very powerful. And I love deep striking units. they have a good option, a lot of good options for it. The Tyranids also have good options for it. Admech with the infiltrators and the Lucius stratagem is good for it, but you know, Deathwatch. I love that they're including a lot of like deep strike mechanics in 8th edition, just because it makes you think a little more about spacing. You know, are you blocking out, you know, that 30-man bloodletter bomb? Now, a couple of, maybe not a couple, but one third choice for me would be Thousand Suns. They have some movement shenanigans that are very strong. They have super good psychic powers. They have really good, like, horde type units like Cultists and Zangors. I think the Zangors with the bow and arrow, the Skyfire guys, they don't really get as much play in 40k as I think they should. They're very, very good. I think I want to do a list with like 18 of them. I think 2 9-man units is, yeah, I think 27 would be the max, but I think 18 would be a nice sweet spot. And then they also have good shooting and then good hand-to-hand type stuff. So they're not one of my top 3 just because I feel like some of their units are pretty expensive. Yet to see how that's... I've seen the points changes, and I think they're very nice for Thousand Suns in the chapter approved. But, you know, we'll see if Rubric Marines and stuff get them actually show up and feel like they're worth their points. But until then, remember, always, always, always pick the army you think looks the best. It's going to be the absolute best way to enjoy the hobby for a long time. And if either of these 2 armies you think look great and you're eyeballing them, that you can't go wrong with either book. They're both very, very good. And with their unit selection and the variety of unit types and unit battlefield roles, you can continually collect those armies for a very long time. You could have 5,000-6,000 point armies and play different types of armies every weekend for years and years, and I think you'll really enjoy it, as you know, as long as the rules you enjoy. And that's about it. So please subscribe. We'll be doing more videos. Also, big thanks. We hit 500 subscribers. Super awesome. That is going to be a giveaway, so we got to work on what we're going to give away. And please follow along for my upcoming Kickstarter for Ghost Brush. I don't know if it's going to show up. Whatever. I actually got some in with the label printed on them. Apparently it's not showing up on camera, but oh, so excited. So, Kickstarter coming in January. Keep your eyes peeled. Please subscribe. Thank you very much.